You drive me crazy. I just can't sleep.
Ooh.
I'm so excited. I'm in too deep. Oh, crazy. But it feels alright. Baby, thinking of you keeps me.
Favorite day, the day to listen to the new episode.
Maybe it's Tuesday, and if that's the case,
if it's Friday, you ain't shit.
Right. If it's Sunday, bitch, bye. No, thank you still for listening.
We appreciate your listens. Don't stop listening.
We are the Are We Adulting Yet podcast.
Welcome.
Thank you so much for tuning in.
Today, our episode is on fatphobia.
Fatphobia.
Ooh,
it's a thing, guys. It's a thing.
Ew.
But before we go into that topic of discussion, we're going to go right into our first segment of the week.
Our grown folk business.
So, we're going to talk about what?
We're going to talk about some adulting shit.
Yeah.
What have you done lately that has been adulting, girl?
That has been adulting.
Well, what have you done this week?
This week that has been like me adulting. But I get up every day at 6:30 in the morning and I go to work. That's my adulting.
I think about that. You've never had to wake up that early for work, right?
Girl, no. I wake up at 6:30 in the morning. And every time I wake up and my alarm goes off, all I can think of is like, there's no way. There's no way it's time.
Oh my goodness. It's true though. That's how it is.
Oh my God. But like, other than that, I haven't really had much time for anything else. That's
right.
my adulting.
Besides working.
Yeah, working in school. And this.
Why don't you talk about how you were able to like sit in on some grown surgeries and stuff?
Oh, well, I didn't get to not yet. I didn't get to sit in on a surgery just yet, but I got to like experience something really cool at work that kind of brought my spirits up a little bit because I was not feeling my job. I know if you guys heard the past episodes, it's been a struggle for me. And today actually was like a turning point in that because I got to sit in on some stuff. They got to examine me. They got to tell me a little bit. And then they ended up telling me I was going to be able to sit in on a surgery this coming up Thursday, which I'm super stoked about. And now I'm like, wow, okay, this could be cool. This could be really cool.
This might be all right.
Right. I might be able to fuck with this. But we'll see. Stay tuned. So that's exciting. How about you? What's some adulting things you've done this week?
Well, I did start school. So that is great. Yes, we talked about this last episode, but I've been starting school. I got all my books, and I'm telling you, it's a process. Like, if you're doing this stuff by yourself, it is a process, especially, like, it was just craziness for me trying to go to school. So, that's been great. So, I guess doing homework. I haven't done homework in, like, 10 plus years, so I'm just like, hey.
Getting in the groove of everything.
Yeah, getting back into learning and reading and trying to do things. Like, reading to, like, gain knowledge from school.
It's kind of like intimidating at first because it's like, all right, you have to do this assignment and read this thing and do this.
Yeah,
and
I'm not going to lie,
minute.
though. Like, I'm ready to take it on, but it's kind of like I'm lost with a lot of stuff. So, I've been asking Dolly for tons of help because she knows what to do with online classes and stuff. And I'm just like, where do I go? What do I do? How do I email my teacher? Trying to figure everything out because I'm just like so completely lost. I'm starting from scratch. So it's been one. There's been a few, I guess, changes in my life where I'm just trying to pay off my debt to try to gain better credit. So, I've just been getting rid of a lot of debt. And I guess that's a grown thing to do, because you're trying
I think that's a smart grown thing to do.
Yeah.
There's a lot of...
I'm trying to be on the right track, you know?
Right. There's a lot of adults that don't give a fuck about their credit or about their debt. And they're just like, yeah, whatever. And then it comes and bites them in the ass more than once.
I'm telling you guys.
There's nothing like good credit. Y'all think money runs the world?
Oh, no. Credit is gold.
Credit runs the world.
Like, you have to have good credit to do anything, so...
Yeah, so it's good. It's good that you're working toward trying to...
Yeah, girl, because I have my goals. Like, I told myself, like, literally, like, I have all these future goals, but, like, within a couple, 2-3 years, I do want to start looking for a house. I have to work towards that, though, you know, when it comes to saving and getting my credit up, just trying to make that a thing. So, as of right now, the only thing that I have against me is my school loans, and I'm in school right now, so hopefully, another thing, financial aid. They paid for my classes. What? You know, because I don't want to be in any more debt than I already am. So,
dude, I was
just really happy about that.
Shout out financial aid. Like, y'all are really the ones sponsoring this episode today.
Literally saving lives and stuff. Like, what? Man.
For real.
I was just so thankful for that because, man, that my classes for this semester are already paid for. So I don't even have to pay for them. I'm just so like, oh, this is awesome. This is so great. So I've just been real grateful. Definitely appreciating stuff more because I have a lot on my plate. Next week is my son's birthday. It's just a lot going on. So with school, the podcast, and I'm not even working right now. That's another thing I've applied. That's another adult
I know.
thing.
I feel like once school started, it was like, whew, especially for me, I was like, whoa, I went from like being able to manage it to now I'm like, whoa, I need to really set a schedule for myself. And I really need to like.
And I feel like once I, like, because right now I deal with my son. He's in VPK right now, but like going from like the days that I do have him or after work when I do have him, I do have time right now. Mm-hmm. Like I feel like this is perfect because like I have school, so I can concentrate on it more. And it's not like I have to, but once I get a job, that's why I'm like, I got to get all my stuff in order so that once I do start a job, I'm not over here scrambling and stressing out.
Right, like, you can already like get yourself in a schedule, like a routine of everything. Oh, that's understandable.
I bought a computer too. A laptop. Let me tell you, this has been like a struggle for the longest time just because I really, 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 really wanted a Mac. And Macs are fucking an arm and a leg.
Yeah, dude.
So I finally settled for my little HP, my little touchscreen HP. I'm appreciative though, but I would have liked a Mac, but I'm appreciative of having my computer because it's a freaking computer. Her computer's
nice too.
Yeah, it's pretty decent, so I'm not like mad about it. It just took long because with us doing our podcast for so long, it's just been a lot. So me having this other computer will definitely be so much better for us.
Yeah, for sure.
In so many ways. So what else?
And if you want to know, Jilly, she's our away mascot. She's Jilly the dog. Her adulting that she's been doing all week. This bitch is on a diet. And she's not happy about it. Let me tell you right now. Her, like, she's looking at the door. She's facing the door. She's like, get me out where the food is at. Because she is on Weight Watchers and she's counting her treats. Because she's gotten a little plump this quarantine. And if you want to look at pictures of Jilly,
look on our page.
We'll post some recent ones because we haven't posted the away mascot in a while, and she's gotten a little too much spirit, if you know what I mean.
She's great. I love her.
She's great. She is great. She's not having it. I'm looking at her right now. She's not happy. But yeah, so now that we're all caught up,
why don't we talk about this subject of this episode?
Yes.
Fat phobia.
Fat phobia.
What the fuck does that even mean, right? I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, but for some people, it's not. And we wanted to know where this comes from, why it comes from certain people, and why the fuck do people care?
Right.
So
if I'm going to start off with explaining what fat phobia is. So, fat phobia is an abnormal and irrational fear of being fat or of being around fat people. The clinical psychological term for extreme fat phobia is y'all know I can't pronounce words on this show. cacomorphobia. People suffering from real cacomorphobia experience the same kind of overwhelming panic and terror felt by individuals with a fear of enclosed spaces, like claustrophobia, fear of heights, acrophobia, or fear of spiders, arachnophobia. In most cases, someone with cacomorphobia has had a terrifying and traumatic encounter with a fat person as a child. This fat person may have bullied and intimidated them in school, or the fat person may have been an abusive step-parent or family member.
Well, I never thought about it that deep, but it kind of makes me laugh to think that someone would be like deathly afraid of someone who is big. Just don't go outside. Because we're everywhere. They're everywhere. So I just feel like that's crazy for someone to be like, oh my God, you know, like deathly afraid of like I'm terrified of spiders. So the thing that someone would be that
someone
terrified,
is terrified
of,
like that.
of a bigger person, it's like,
yeah.
What? Like, oh my God, like that drives me crazy. But
crazy.
I don't know.
I just can't see.
I had
Anyway, sorry, go on.
You win this song. So when I looked up fatphobia, I saw that it was a bias or discriminatory behaviors targeted at individuals because of their weight, which is what I usually thought that it was, you know, because usually that is what it is. People always, you know, say certain things about people. So they said majority cases, slim people that never struggle with weight loss are like the number one people to fat shame people. And I mean, it makes sense. Like, if you've never had to deal with those issues, then God bless your soul, you ain't had to deal with those issues, you know? But
I mean, it's kind of, in my opinion, it's kind of the same thing as racism. If you've never had to deal with being black or Hispanic or whatever,
you're not going to know what's up.
Right. You don't really think about it, and you're just kind of like, oh, whatever.
But you know, and then some people will be like, oh, I just feel like when people look at bigger people, they look at them like, oh, they don't love themselves, or they don't have confidence.
They don't take care of themselves.
Right, which is, to me, there are a lot of confident, bigger women and bigger men. And, like, kudos to you, because fuck what everybody else is thinking. You be you and be in your own skin and be happy.
Well, and, like, when you automatically have that impression on somebody that's a little heavier than you are, you're not taking into consideration the fact that they might have a health issue, they might have a mental disorder, there's so many other factors other than they just like to eat. You know what I'm saying? And like the same way that a super skinny person with a fast metabolism likes to eat, they just got lucky, I guess, in this world, because our society teaches us that skinny is the way to be. Right. And that they just happen to be on the right side of media, I guess that you can say, or the right side of society. I don't know if that makes sense, but I don't know. I think it's just kind of unfair. It is
unfair, and I think that if someone wants to make a change in their life that changes their body, that's on them. And for you to dictate and tell them stuff about it, you have no right. It's just like, just shut up.
And too, I feel, at least for me personally, as I get older, I can't hold food down the way I can hold food down. I gain quicker.
Yeah, you know what? Man.
So, like, when you live in a world where it's like, you gotta be thin, you gotta be this way, you gotta be that way.
Me and Dolly talked about this, and I don't remember exactly what the conversation was, but I remember just talking about how French people, we were talking about the French exchange students and how they came over here and they realized that there was a restaurant in every corner, that every street that they went to, there was multiple fast food restaurants, compared to France, where you have one restaurant on the street.
Yeah, eating is different.
And even the portion sizes and things like that, is it gluttony? Is that what they call it?
Gluttony, yeah.
Right, and I feel like America has way too much of that shit because they can, you know? Right. And then when society makes things cheaper for you in different instances, you're just like, you know, what the heck? So it's just like, I don't know, they make it this way, like it's set up this way. And I had also researched something, and they said that, which I really think is important, it said for years, scientists have researched the problem and have contributed to the mounting evidence of factors that go beyond an individual's control, such as poverty, healthcare access, education, genetics, hormones, and chronic illnesses, which can all play roles in the chronic condition's development and existence. More research and clinical trials are needed to find answers, but while we wait, researchers say body shaming, which has been proven, it's caused depression and increase of the risk of suicide, which it should never be one of them.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of sad to think that your words can affect someone so harshly. So be careful with what you say to people. Like, there's nothing wrong with big people. They're the same as you. They have 2 legs, they have 2 arms, 2 eyes. Some don't, but you know that you get my point. You get my point. Like, you are no one to judge anyone else. So
I mean, yeah, for sure. And to go out to piggyback off to piggyback off of what you were saying earlier, like with the French, when the French exchange students came and they were like, every other place is a restaurant here. I think that has a critical part on how we live our life, especially here. I think it's kind of, we just always become more hungry because it's always around us. I don't know. Or like,
I mean, it makes sense psychologically to pop everything up like that.
Yeah, because
like,
once the foreign exchange students came, and this was back when we were in high school, I think, or like just getting out of high school or something.
18, 19?
Yeah, and these French, we hung out with these foreign exchange French students. And when he said that, I said, what's the big difference about America versus France? And he's like, every other place is a fast food place. And in France, you don't get that. And that has stuck with me. And I was like, wow, I thought everywhere was like this.
No,
but this is an America thing. You see a Burger King. Okay, Walmart, Target, blah, blah, blah. Taco Bell.
Wendy's,
this is a Subway.
Starbucks,
blah, blah,
everything,
blah. Everything for you to eat and for you to... And I stick very true to the idea that food is... a way to a coping mechanism for things, and it's a way to like to ease your mind or to make you feel better. And it's become so normal here in our reality in the United States, especially, to just, if we're feeling bad, go ahead and have some ice cream, go ahead and have a cookie, you deserve it, this and that. And
I think that's an issue that I've dealt with.
Yeah, and not necessarily that it's wrong. There's a lot. I just
think
feel
that
like
that's the wrong. Like, there's wrong ways to cope with things, and that's one of the wrong ways. It's not the best way. It's not gonna do you better. I think that. I'm sorry. Did you have?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. No, I was gonna say, like, when I was younger, that was a really big thing. Like, fatphobia was like such a fear for both my parents. For me, like, it was instilled in me, like, do not get big. Like, my mother was a bigger woman, so she was always like, oh, no, you got to do things different. I don't want you to be like me. I don't want you to have to deal with things I dealt with, because she was always depressed or sad because of how big she was, you know? So, like, and, you know, people will say, like, oh, well, if they feel that way, why don't they just go out and change it? It's not that easy for some people.
Right.
This is not just something that that's easily, you know, like she said earlier, it's a coping mechanism for some. For me, I can say, regardless of what the fuck is going on in my life, I was still able to eat. So that showed me something about myself, and I was like, damn, if if someone dies, I'm like, man, give me a plate of food. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that was ways I did not notice that these were coping mechanisms for myself until I sat there and realized it. But like, I mean, till recently, I've been on like this workout journey and things like that, just because I want to be the healthiest I can be. And it's not even about getting, like, of course, girls want to be skinny and stuff like that. But at this point, it's more about being healthy for my son and me being able to live longer because of it, you know, because I do want to be there for him. I don't want to die at 50, 60. I want to be there for his kids, and, you know, I want that for myself. So I try to make that a goal for myself, and that is one of my lifelong goals, to make sure that I don't care how long it takes, but to get myself on a schedule and to where I'm comfortable with myself to the point where it doesn't matter what anyone says, you know, because for a lot of people, that's how it is. And a lot of people base how they feel or how they look based on what other people like and don't like. And,
right. And
know?
I feel like I 100% feel where you're coming from. But I also feel like, in a sense, no matter what people think and no matter how much you weigh, the way that you perceive yourself is a personal thing. So whether you weigh 300 pounds or 115 pounds, you might think of yourself as a horrible looking person because that's just a personal like thing that you see upon yourself.
Well, whether that was personal or if someone told it to you, it's all on you to understand who you are.
I think with fat phobia, people that struggle with their weight fall into other people's fat phobia as well, because you have people that are like, they don't like people that are overweight and they're projecting that onto people that are overweight, and then it's turning into a dislike of themselves. Right. You know what I'm saying?
You know, so, and like, that's crazy because, like, I used to, like, look at a bigger woman, and it's crazy to think that I've been through all I've been through my whole life, and I'll look at a bigger woman, and then, like, she's wearing a crop top or whatever she wants to wear, and I'm like, why is she wearing that? But then I've switched it in my mind where it's like, go ahead, girl. You have that confidence. I wish I had that confidence. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it's switched in my mind. You really have to train yourself to acknowledge what you're thinking or what you're saying and stop yourself from doing it, because those are habits. You know what I'm saying? This is something that I feel like all girls have dealt with their whole life. Like,
oh yeah, girls especially.
This is something like, not saying that guys don't deal with it, but I just feel like guys have it in a different bracket. I don't know how to explain it. Like,
yeah, I mean, I feel like guys have dealt with it too.
Yeah, of course, but as extreme as females, I don't know. Like, yeah, I feel like for females, it's always a thing for, oh, I gotta lose a couple more pounds, or oh, I gotta get this, you know, or I gotta. It's always something. It's always something, you know. So like,
and I feel like with, well, especially with us, because it's happened to me too growing up. People in our family have made comments, and I don't think they really knew that they were damaging. I don't want to say damaging, or like kind of like hurting us in a sense. But like, you know, when our families used to be like pinching the little sides of our fat and being like, oh, mira, chichos. And I even still now, I sit down and I pinch for my little sides of fat.
But it's like,
and I'm like, stop it.
Those are things like me and Dolly talked about how like in the last episode, we talked about for a lot of the times in our lives, stuff is blacked out. But the fact that these are memories that we remember, you know, these are things that we remember, it's kind of like, that's sad. Right. To remember something like that. Like, I remember walking up the stairs one time and my uncle walking behind me, and he randomly, we weren't saying anything, we were just going up the stairs to go to the apartment, and he randomly goes, how much do you weigh now? And it was like, what?
Like degrading and kind of like,
and then like
why does that matter?
One of my uncles, I was eating some like chips with guac or something with my cousins. Everybody's eating, but he looked at me and said, "Hey, watch how much you eat." And I was just like, "Whoa, how about you mind your own business?"
But you know what? I'm gonna say this, especially about Hispanics. Not saying no other culture does it. I'm just very familiar with the Hispanic culture because I'm Hispanic, but a lot of cultures probably. They will want you to eat all the food that they make. Feed you because that's just, and if you don't refuse. Yeah, if you refuse their food, it's like a sign of disrespect.
It's disrespect, and then they're coming back to you like, hey,
but then you're gaining a little too much weight.
What's going on?
And it's like, bitch, you fed me all this food. What's the damn bread? You shouldn't have fed me pan con mantequilla con café con leche and whatever the fuck. Right. And at 12 midnight, I'm 7 years old.
And we figure out where this stuff comes from.
Oh my God.
I think honestly, this is just, when it comes to like fat phobia, I don't really, like, if someone wants to be bigger or whatever and they're happy with that, I'm happy for you, boo-boo.
But it's all a journey. I mean,
it is.
Somebody that struggles with that and really hardcore struggles with that, we can wish them well. We can say, do whatever you want to do. I'm okay with it. But that doesn't mean that they're not struggling. Right. You know what I'm saying? We have to bring awareness to the fact that everyone is born different. Yeah. And it comes down to that. I mean, it comes down to the color of our skin, the way our hair is, the way that our culture is, the way our language is. We are just born different. And it doesn't matter. Like, at the end of the day, and I will always say this literally till the day I die, when I'm on my deathbed, I'm not going to think about the fact that this person was obese.
Right.
I'm not.
You know what? And I remember, not the exact moment, but I know when I went into 4th grade, this is when I noticed that literally, because my mom raised me with eyes of love, literally I looked at everyone with love. So I didn't see big or I didn't see small. That's taught to you. That is taught to you 100%. Because I remember being in 4th grade and someone mentioning how big somebody was. And after that,
You saw it.
Yeah, I saw it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, I never judged people for this. So, like, kudos to my mom for keeping me, like, out the loop for so long. Well, like, looking at people with eyes of love. Yeah. Looking at people with love. She did a great job doing that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, even with her issues and her self-conscious and her being not as self-confident or anything like that, she's still...
Well, that's what probably helped her. She was probably like, I don't want my kids to judge others, like the way that I've been probably judged.
And even though my mom was bigger back then, like, I didn't look at her that way. I didn't. Like, people, you know...
even me growing up, I never looked at your mom that way.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
I used to be like, that's right. You know, never.
It's just like, crazy that what things are taught to you and what things you carry with you as you go. And honestly, I think that this is more of like an America thing, because in other countries, people love bigger women. People love bigger men. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's a lot
so praised and it's so loved.
Well, even back in the day, you see those memes that are like, where they show Marilyn Monroe. She wasn't a skinny person. She was, you know, thick.
She was thick.
She was thick. And it's like she was praised for, I don't know when or why it turned into you have to be slim.
Well, you know what? I was reading, like, have you ever seen those videos where they kind of like time lapse over like the 50s or the 20s all the way to the 2000s? Mm-hmm. They did something like that for weight wise. And like how back then, you remember like big booties were not a really big thing.
It was like big boobs.
It was big boobs. You didn't have to have a big booty as long as you were slim, and that was it. Now it's like, we want slim, thick.
Well,
we need that booty.
Back then too, if you had a big ass, it was like you were fat.
Right.
Like, oh, fat ass. Right. Like, literally, that's where the
and
term...
now people be like, that fat
look at that fat ass.
Mommy, come here.
And now it's like, ooh, ooh. Twerking. People pay for it. And it's crazy how we just allow those kind of mentalities to take over us. Like, oh, well, this is what's in right now. The same with fashion. This is what's in, so I'm going to buy this kind of stuff because it's what's in. Like, whatever. I mean, in my opinion, that's just my opinion. Who the fuck cares?
Yeah.
If I'm happy, the only person I need to be impressing is myself, because I'm the only one that's going to have to live with myself for the rest of my life. The person passing by that's judging me and giving off their judgments, I probably will never even give a fuck about them ever in my life again.
And you know what's crazy though, because I feel like a year or two ago, someone's thoughts would have affected me deeply, and I would have probably been depressed if they said some mean shit, or it would probably stay with me, and I think about it, not even about being depressed, because I'm never the type, if someone says like, oh, you're fat, I don't go to my room and cry and like stay in my room for 3 days. It's more like, okay, I'm fucking fat, and then I'm just like, fuck,
right?
What am I gonna do?
Sits
and then,
with you,
and then
like,
every day you're thinking about it, because you look at yourself every day,
Mm-hmm.
and like literally how you view yourself is so important. So like, view yourself as beautiful. View yourself as handsome. As like.
I heard somewhere, I forgot who said it, but they were like, you're not responsible for what others think about you, and you're responsible for what you think about you. And I try to take that with me every day, and especially now because I started a new job, and you know, like, I'm an amateur at what I do.
But
now,
how you react to is very important as well. Because
and I know other people see it. I know other people have opinions about how I do things because I'm so new. I know I'm making mistakes.
Right.
So I have to remember, like, I'm not in charge of what other people think.
Right.
I'm in charge of how how I make myself feel.
Right.
And how I react to it.
They may think I'm dumb right now, but look, in a week, I'm going to have all this down packed.
Like, just focus on you.
Right.
This is this being that you are in, this body that you are in right now, that your soul is inhabiting, that's the only person that you need to focus on.
Love it.
Right. And love it. You only get one life. You're focusing on so much that because you think other people are focusing on it. But at the end of the day, people aren't laying their head down and being like, dear God, please pray for the girl that's obese in the street because she needs Jesus. No one does that.
Right.
And if they do, they're fucking psycho. Honestly. You know what I'm saying? And I looked up a few things, like a few examples of comments that people make.
Can I say something before you?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so I just want to make a comment that most people, when they do this shaming, they think it's gonna like flip a switch on somebody and make them change the way they are, make them change their size, or make them motivated to go out and work out, or whatever they want to do. So like, in my opinion, it's like, you know, it doesn't help. It does the exact opposite. It doesn't help them. It makes them depressed. What did it say? It can cause them to be stressed, eat more, or gain more. So it's kind of like, or be depressed, or be suicidal. So like, what? But go ahead with your comments. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. No, I looked up some examples of like fat shaming comments that people say. Just if you are one of these people, to bring awareness to what you're doing, what you're saying, how you're affecting other people, whatever. So one is, you might be pretty if you lost 20 pounds. Instead of eating your next meal, you should go work out.
Oh my God.
This one, whales don't wear swimsuits, so why should you? Bitch, I would punch the fuck. Anyway.
What?
Instead of, only lazy people weigh as much as you do. Whatever. And a lot of this is done over social media, and I think that's one of the worst. I feel like one of the worst things that social media has brought us is the fact that somebody can be an asshole behind a screen, so which makes them a pussy-ass asshole, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of pussy-ass assholes.
But there's a lot of those, though, on their internet. The, I forgot what they're called, but something behind the screen, I forgot what it's called. I don't remember. But yeah, some bitch shit. We'll just say that. Like, even if you say it in person, still some bitch shit. Worry about yourself. Like, if you worry about yourself, you ain't got time to be worrying about other folks, you know? Like,
and, you know, it's just, I don't know.
I just, like, I feel like I'm so concentrated and so driven and very, like, focused on what I need to do in my life that I'm not worried about shit like that. Like,
and even so, like, you never know what somebody's going through. Like, there's health conditions people can be going through. There's so much. I remember, I mean, not to put too much out there, but I remember when my grandma passed away when I was younger, and my mom, you know, got super depressed. She got super sad. And I think about that, and she just started eating. You know, that was her way. And I think about that now, and I'm like, how would I react if my mom passed away?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. That might be my coping mechanism. And for somebody that doesn't know what's going on in my life to come in and put those judgments upon me and put those
cents, right? No, get
it's
the fuck
not
out of here.
fair. And like, I think that there are just as many women struggling to gain weight, just the way that there are just as many women struggling to lose weight, but we focus on the women that are struggling to lose weight because it's not what society wants us to be. Like, we're focusing so much on the women that are overweight that we're like, you know, there's just as many women that want to gain weight that are underweight.
No, yeah, I've had a few friends who were very skinny, and they were like, I'm trying to gain weight, and everyone calls them, you're so skinny, like, oh my God, like, nobody wants to hear those comments, you know, like, even if you're flaquita, so like.
But we're putting such a negative thing on the women that are overweight because we see it as a health issue. We see it, I mean, look at all the backlash that Lizzo has gotten.
Oh yeah.
And Lizzo has been,
shout out to Lizzo.
Dude, her true authentic self. She don't care. She doesn't give a fuck.
She's like, if you ain't with it, you ain't with it. I don't give a fuck.
Right.
The next thing you will be.
We saw Lizzo in concert. That bitch can move.
Yes.
She is in shape, because to be doing that every night for who knows how long on tour.
And that just goes to show you, like, don't underestimate big people. They probably could do more than you can. Don't sit here and judge them, you know? Like, I know a lot of hardworking big people. So don't sit here and, like the laziness, that's what got to me. The lazy comment. You're
Right.
just being lazy. Who you don't know my fucking life.
Right.
Get out of here. Like, no.
But it kind of like checks, for me personally, it kind of like checks me too, because I see that, and of course I'm like, well, we're not, like, these people aren't being lazy. So it checks me and being like, maybe I should stop putting judgments on other people that I think are doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Or doing whatever, like.
Mm-hmm. I just honestly, I feel like when I was younger, I was able to not say snap out of being judgmental, but I taught and trained myself for like a few weeks how to look at people and look at good in them and compliment them instead of looking at them like, like, and then I don't know what happened, but between growing up and trying to find myself, that shit came back. And I was like judging people, and I'm like, oh, what is this? What is that? Like, oh, look at her. Oh my God, like roasting people and shit. Like, okay, whatever. At the time it was like fun and everything, but as you get older, it's like, damn, like, what was I doing? Like, why was I doing that? Was I doing it to fit in, or like, what the fuck was?
Well,
like,
they say too, like, when you do things like that, it could be a thing where it's like you're not happy with your present moment in your life,
you know
or
what?
You're not happy with the way that you're living your life, and you're kind of projecting it out.
And I think that's true too. I just honestly, I still think this is something, not even so much a fat phobia of other people, but a fat phobia for me. Mm-hmm. I think that's a really big thing still. And even after this episode, it's still going to be a thing for me, because it's just been kind of implanted in my head since I was little. So, like, this is not something I could just kick out of my head. It's kind of something, and especially with me trying to actually lose weight and trying to be fit and healthy and stuff, and, like, not saying that you can't be fit, because, we were just talking about that. Lizzo's fit as fuck. But, like, I just need, for myself, I need to be fit. I need to be comfortable in my own skin. And I don't feel like I am. Mm-hmm. And not, because losing weight is not going to, it might make a difference, maybe with my confidence, but is that really going to make a full difference? It's other things that are connected to it.
I mean, it's a whole, the way you exercise and you work out your muscles and you exercise out the fat, you have to exercise all the bullshit in your head, too. Mm-hmm. And, like, I'm from experience with that, because I lost not a whole bunch of weight, but I lost a decent amount of weight. And even when I did, I was at my bad. I was like at my lowest. And at that moment, I remember thinking, wow, I look great. And then I was like on a few, maybe like a few weeks of being like, wow, maybe 2 weeks. Like, I look great. I look great. I look great. And then it slowly started coming. Well, you could look better. Oh, but you still have fat here. And but listen, pinch for your chichos, pinch for your little pieces of fat. Oh, this. And then it slowly, all the insecurities I had about myself that I thought had went away because I fixed what I thought needed to be fixed, slowly started coming back. And it's because I didn't fix myself completely, and I didn't fix what was going on in my head. And what was going on in my head was I thought I needed to be, in a sense, perfect. I thought I needed to be.
And then that's what we think. If I'm skinnier, I'll be fine. If I'm skinnier, I'll be okay. If I'm skinnier, I'll get more.
But what's skinnier mean?
Right.
I mean, it's the same. If I just had more money, you're never satisfied with just a little more money. You always want more. You always want more. Mm-hmm. And it's the same with this. I mean, I got skinny, like how I always said I wanted to be. And then I was like, but I'm not skinny enough.
Right.
I need to be more skinny.
So that showed you something else.
Right. And it taught me that it was like, if now I think I'm to the point where it's like, if I'm eating healthy, and I still struggle every day when I look in the mirror. Girl, yeah. I look in the mirror every day and I'm like, you could be better. You could be better. And I still struggle with that. And I have to tell myself, you ate healthy. You ate good. You did this. You did that. You're doing the best you can. Mm-hmm. You're not living up to anybody's you shouldn't be living up to anybody's expectations except your own. Mm-hmm. And my own, like the expectations I put on myself is to live a healthy, happy life. Right. And that's it. And that's what I have to keep telling myself. I know I'm eating healthy. I know I'm being healthy. I know I'm happy. Why do I keep like tormenting myself? Mm-hmm. And it's just because we were taught that way, and we're reminded every day of that.
Just by looking at yourself, man. That's all it takes. It's just like... And
Dude,
then your
for real.
head thinking of the most crazy shit, of course, and remembering the most traumatizing shit.
Yeah.
And you're just like, who am I? What have I become? You know, like, I don't know. I think that overall, if you're happy with yourself and you're bigger, be happy with yourself. And be that. And don't let anyone degrade you or knock you. Don't let people's comments affect how confident you are with yourself and affect how sure you are of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're sure of yourself and you're happy, that's all that fucking matters, honestly. So, like, for me, what can I take from this? Maybe not to be so hard on myself. And you tell me this all the time. Not to be... Well, Madison told me that, too. Like, not to be hard on myself and to recognize the milestones that I've reached so far.
Yeah.
And to not knock it. Because I'm so into the future and, like, what do I have this and this and that? You know, like...
Yeah, I feel like with some, like, you want the end result, but you're so, like, people are so focused on the end result, they don't want to see the things it takes to get there, and they don't want to, like, celebrate the little milestones.
And it does take a lot, and I think that that's the issue. A lot of people aren't celebrating just people in general, big and small.
Right.
People are just too busy knocking each other, you know?
And I feel like the biggest celebration of all that we can celebrate as a human race is that we woke up and made it another day. Mm-hmm. That's the greatest thing. No matter what the fuck we look like, no matter who we are, no matter what we are doing, no matter if we're fat, if we're skinny, if we're black, if we're white, if we're trans, if we're lesbians, if we're gay, who the fuck? We woke up and we got to live another day. So let's fucking celebrate that.
Yes, all the way.
I think that's really dope.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, that concept of, like, wow, I get to live another day in this, like, reality. And,
you know,
like,
and people don't look at it that way, but when you wake up, do that. Like, wake up and be like, okay, it's a new day, a fresh start.
Right.
Let's get things going.
Right.
Let's do what we need to do.
And even when it comes down to, like, looking at yourself, when you wake up and you look at yourself, the first thing you want to do is criticize. But the first thing you should do is be like, bitch, we're at it another day.
I'm a bad bitch without brush teeth
and
everything.
Again. Let's do this. Let's try to do it another day. Mm-hmm. And you know, that's all we're trying to do. We're just trying to live day by day, and, like, we don't need the criticisms from everyone else, and let alone we don't need the criticisms from ourselves. Like, we're with each other till the day we die. The best cheerleader we have is ourselves. Right. And I really stand true with that. And
yeah, it's all about how we think and how we take stuff.
Yeah.
Honestly, like,
and I think if you're in a situation where you feel like your criticisms, the way that you feel about yourself are negatively impacting you so much, you should take a look at first yourself, and then you should take a look at the people you're surrounding yourself with, because nobody that you're giving your time to should be making you feel some type of way.
Right, 100%. I believe that. Our adulting tip of the day: to love the skin you're in.
I know that's from somewhere. Where is that from?
If you can quote us, quote us. Because we don't remember. But
love the skin you're in. CoverGirl?
CoverGirl. I don't know.
Which is I don't know.
That's makeup. That does sound like it, though. Love the skin you're in.
Right? Love the skin.
We just felt like that went perfectly with this episode because it's so true. Love the skin you're in. Fuck other people's comments. The way you feel about yourself is priority and number one. Always look at yourself and remember that it's a new day every day, and you can make different decisions every day to better yourself.
Love the skin you're in. It's Olay. Olay!
Oh, and our away question is, are we nice yet?
Aww.
And I think that is negative for most of America. Negative as fuck. They are not nice yet, but me and Dolly are nice.
We're trying to be nice.
We've come to grow to learn different things and we're more understanding.
I mean, and I think that's important with growing. You become more understanding of everyone else's situation. So be understanding
and try not to judge people so quickly. You don't know what they're going through or what they've been through. So,
or they're probably already fucking depressed about it already.
Right.
They probably already heard all the shit. Just leave it alone.
Right. Mind your business. If you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say it at all.
Oh, God. Jesus. For real.
That's my favorite thing. But we ready to wrap this up?
Yeah.
Wrap it up. We love you guys.
We're wrapping it up. We just can't shut up. We're so excited. We get
Don't know. We've been singing this song all day. But thank you for listening in again, and we will see you next episode.
Bye. Don't forget to like, comment.